So, good morning everyone. My name is Jenny Marti Rojo from BSMA TC. And today I'm going to discuss my assigned works from the Chapter 5 topic, which is the capacity planning for products and services. So, before I proceed to my assigned work, let's first tackle what is capacity planning. So capacity planning is the process of determining the production capacity needed by an organization to meet changing demands for its products. It is also vital in operations management because capacity is the rate of productive capability of a facility. So capacity decisions need acute and careful attention by concerned persons as almost everything of the operations is related with capacity. So it is important as it determines the optimal level of production and uninterrupted production run. So there are several other important causes for which the entrepreneurs and managers must address capacity decisions. So now let's go to my assigned works, which are the key decisions of capacity planning and steps for capacity planning. So now let's first tackle the key decisions of capacity planning. So there are four. First is the amount of capacity needed. Second is the timing of changes. Third is the need to maintain balance. Fourth is the extent of flexibility of facilities. So as to the amount of capacity needed, in the context of capacity planning, design capacity is the maximum amount of work that an organization is capable of completing in a given period. So capacity planning keeps projects on track while making the most of your team's time. It ensures that you are matching what you need with what you have before your project kicks off and helps you deliver work on time, on budget, and on scope. So the next key decision is the timing of changes. So since capacity can change due to changing conditions or external influences, including seasonal demand, industry changes, and unexpected macroeconomic events, companies must remain nimble enough to constantly meet expectations in a cost-effective manner. So the third one is the need to maintain balance. So the balance requires a mix of profit margins versus team resources. So that is where capacity planning comes into play. A strategy that helps you deliver work on time, on budget, and on scope. So capacity is what enables people to get their work done, be it their normal day-to-day work or their change work. So if your organization does not have or generate the capacity for change, then you are at risk of failing to achieve your expected results. That is why we have to maintain the balance. So the next one is the extent of flexibility of facilities. So as to the extent of flexibility of facilities, of course, we didn't know until when all of those facilities would last. That's why in making decisions, we have to include this thing. So the capacity decisions can be made in all decision-making hierarchies. Examples of these decisions include determining how many production facilities to operate, determining the permanent capacity of a facility, and making contingent capacity adjustments. So that's the end of my first assigned work. And before I proceed to my second assigned work, let's first tackle what is capacity cushion. So, capacity cushion is the extra demand intended to offset uncertainty. Or shall we say, capacity cushion is used when the consumer has demand to what the business can only offer that time. So to understand further, The capacity cushion is the amount of reserve capacity built into your farm business to handle sudden increases in demand or temporary losses of production capacity. So as your operation approaches 100%, then you will need to make a decision to either scale back the business or increase your capacity. So that's the end of my first assigned work, and then next let's go to the steps for capacity planning. So there are 8 steps for capacity planning. First is the estimate future capacity requirements, evaluate existing capacity, identify alternatives, conduct financial analysis, assess key qualitative issues, select one alternative, implement alternative chosen, and monitor results. So as to estimate future capacity requirements, capacity requirement planning is the process of determining whether or not you have everything you need to produce enough goods to fill typical and or large orders. So, using the capacity requirement planning or the CRP, the business can meet its production goals because CRP method first assesses the company's planned manufacturing schedule. So the next one is to evaluate existing capacity. So why do we have to evaluate existing capacity? So assessing existing capacity should be the starting point of any capacity development planning process. So to be relevant and useful, all capacity development initiatives need to be grounded very clearly in the practical realities of delivery against mandate, so a great deal will be framed by the answer to the question, capacity for what? So the answer is, it is linked to a development goal. So the next one is to identify alternatives. So, of course, a business operation must have the alternative products so that when the current products already lost their popularity and important usage, then it may be the time to alternate other products to avoid losing and bankruptcy until they will meet their development goals. So the next one is to conduct financial analysis. So financial analysis can be conducted in both corporate finance and investment finance settings. One of the most common ways to analyze financial data is to calculate ratios from the data in the financial statements to compare against those of other companies or against the company's own historical performance. So there are 3 common ways in conducting financial analysis, and these are the horizontal analysis, the vertical analysis, and the ratio analysis. So the next one is assess key qualitative issues. Why do we have to assess the key qualitative issues? So this thing is very important in business operation. The company shouldn't disregard the qualitative issues, especially if it is concerning to the employees' morale, brand reputation, product quality, customer satisfaction, investors, and competitive advantage. So, moreover, when a person raised an issue during meeting in connection to the business, then employers have to address it as soon as possible because the outcomes might help everyone, especially to the employees and to the business development goals. So the next one is select one alternative. So why do we have to select one alternative? So selecting one but best alternative is important because we didn't know when our current products would last, and we didn't know when our consumer or customers will lose their taste on our products and services. So having one alternative plan will be a great help for the business in the meantime. So the important thing there is the operations will continue no matter what happens. So the next is implement alternative chosen. So, after selecting one alternative, we shouldn't just stay still. Instead, we have to implement other alternative also, just in case there will be changes to the products and services that we planned to alternate over time. So, the next one is to monitor results. So, of course, we have to monitor the results of all our plans and decisions during the process. By that, we will know what to change, what to maintain, and what to improve. Also, it can help us know that the strategies that we're using are worth it, helpful, and useful or not. So that's the end of my assigned work. But before I will leave the own definition of Matt Spiegel, founder and CEO of Lawmatics, and capacity planning. So, according to him, capacity planning is our way of knowing if our company is capable of weathering the unpredictable sea of business and entrepreneurship. So, being in the legal technology niche, the pressure to meet client demands is high. Yes, it is true. Thus, we need to ensure that we have the skilled manpower and necessary resources needed to satisfy our clients' needs, and we can only do that through capacity planning. So, before I end, I will leave first the lesson that I learned in this lesson or in this topic. So, what have I learned? So, in this topic, I have learned so many lessons. But one thing that marked my mind is how important for the business operations to have a capacity planning. Through capacity planning, the business can surely meet their goals and will have a biggest chance to become part of the most successful businesses. Yes, it is because the company will have control all over the operations and the business movements. They can monitor the business operations from time to time, and they can immediately find solutions if there will be unpredictable changes and happenings within the company over time. So, all in all, this topic taught me that in the world of operating the business, we have to be alert and prepared all the time, and we can only do it if we have this what we call capacity planning. And that is how important capacity planning in business is. Thank you.